Now this is big.
This is the time of year when every world is moving towards darkness. This is the time of year when we think about that movement out of the sunshine into the dark, the movement from life into death. And the name of this story is The Warrior. The warrior woke to darkness, not because it was night, but because of the crows. The hoodie crows that scavenged the corpses of the fallen, littered the battlefield, hopping from body to body, plucking at eyes with calls of victory. Caw! Caw! And 100,000 more in the sky, waiting for their turn to feed. And his mind was filled with the beating of 100,000 wings, of the beating of the wings, and he raised up his hands to block out the sound, and he saw blood. Some of it his own, but not all. And he couldn't remember the deeds that might have put the blood on his hands, any more than he could remember his own name. And the warrior pushed himself to his feet, and he ran across the battlefield towards a copse of trees, stumbling over the bodies. Friends, enemies, comrades. He couldn't tell any more than he could tell or remember the reason they had been fighting, any more than he could remember his own name. And finally he reached the darkness of the forest, but he kept on running, running and running until he had no more breath in him. And he fell to his knees, and then a name escaped his lips. Cathabova. Not his own name, but her name, the dark goddess of battles, the queen of crows, his goddess. My lady, he said, before the warrior passed into darkness once more. When he woke, it was to the sound of women laughing and talking. And just a little ways from him, there were 3 girls washing their laundry. I was 3. Such a commonplace scene, so close to a bloody battle. As he neared them, the women fell silent. I hadn't thought to see such fair flowers so close to a great battle. Oh, was there a battle? Said a tall, well-built girl, surely the oldest. They must have all been sisters, so closely did they favor each other. There's always some battle. Oh, this girl that spoke, she was very pretty. Skin white as down and hair black as a raven's mane. And something fluttered in his mind about a maiden that he'd met in the forest long ago. Then it was gone. There was a very terrible battle, not this far from here. Surely you must have heard it. It's not safe for you. Battle-broke men with dark hearts may have their minds set on dark deeds. Oh, we're not afraid, said the pretty girl, and his heart softened to her, an innocent. And you need not be afraid. I will protect you. Well then, stranger, sit at our fire. I'm Kathleen, and these are my sisters, Masha and Morag. And so he sat, warming himself at the fire, drinking a cup of tea, and listening to the girls talk of this and that, how much work they still had to do. And he felt strangely peaceful. He couldn't remember, but he was sure he hadn't felt this peaceful in a long, long time. And he didn't think it strange that the women hadn't asked his name, which was a 4 unfortunate thing because he couldn't have given it. But eventually, his weariness began to overtake him, and his eyes began to grow heavy. And then one of the maidens stood before him with a sheet. "Here you go, stranger. It's not yet washed, but it'll give you some warmth." And she covered him with it, and the warrior slept. But his dreams were not quiet. They were filled with the 100,000 beating wings of crows and the screams of battle, the thrumming howl that filled the heart and the mind before battle. And near him was a river that ran red as blood, and over that river hung a tree, its branches pulled low with fruit that was so heavy. And as he approached it, he saw it was not fruit, but the heads of men torn from their shoulders. And 3 crows lit on the branches.
"Caw, caw! Which of these beautiful fruits did you cut from the tree? And which was your friend? And which was your enemy? And which both?"
And the 3rd crow that hadn't spoken flew at him with talons open, bloody maw ready to pluck his own eyes, and he screamed, "No!" waking himself, and he was tangled up in the sheet, and the more he struggled to free himself, the more tangled he became. The women, they were banshee, washing the shrouds of the dead, the winding sheets of the fallen. And this one meant for him, but he wouldn't take it, and he reached for his boot, for his fairy dagger scheme do, and he ripped that sheet in 2. And now the 3 women stood before him in their true form, towering, giant, screaming, "Ah!" And their cries filled the earth, the sky, and the air and water, all around, as if those screams came from every tree and every rock. The Morrigue, they were no fairy maids. It was the battle maid, the battle goddess herself in her terrible form. He wanted to scream her name in exaltation, in supplication, in accusation. He almost laughed at their game. He could think of no excuse he could give for the battle gone so horribly wrong, for he remembered who he was now. He was not some soldier. He was the commander of men, the leader of many battles, and he had led many men to the death. And if the Morrigue wanted him, well, he had been there since he drew his first blood. And he heard the beating of 100,000 wings, and he looked out. And the opening to the glade, it wasn't so far as he thought. He could come out of this forest with just a few steps. He could put his feet into the light that was rising in a red mist as the sun rose. But then he knew that the evidence of the death and the terrible carnage of the day before would be clear in the merciless morning light. And he stopped. When he turned back, it was just the maid Catherine with 3 shadows behind her. "Fergus McCart, had you forgotten me?" "Never, my lady. I am yours, have been yours, will always be yours, since that day drew my first blade. But it's been a long time since I've seen you in this form. Oh, Fergus, such a long way you've journeyed, and you so weary. Will you not come back to me to the summer lands? Rest a while, a few lifetimes perhaps. And he thought about it. To rest, to lay down his burden, lay down his sword. But then he thought of his family, his wife and his children so far away, and of his men. As I said, my lady, I am yours, I have ever been yours. But my men, I have a duty to them too. I must gather up their possessions, take them home to their families, tell of how bravely they died. When I'm done,